it's Nadej Bailey. Be sure to tune in to TPN Live with my auntie Renee and my uncle Bobby Peoples.
Hey there, I'm Leonardo Washington, star of Casting the Net.
And I'm Andrew P. Jones, the creator and director of Casting the Net.
And you're watching TPN Live
with the awesome Bobby and Renee.
Hey, I'm Courtney. I'm an actress, director, advocate. Enough about me. You're watching TPN Live with my friends, Bobby and Renee.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Jamari, a.k.a. Mari. Look, I want you guys to like, comment, subscribe on these videos, and make sure you share it with a friend. You are now tuned in with Bobby and Renee Live. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody?
Hey
y'all know what today is.
Up?
It's Tuesday, so that means it's TPN Live with Bobby and
Renee Day.
That's right. And we have a very special guest in today, our light-skinned sister from another mother.
Like, why you gotta put light skin in there?
Because you're light-skinned. That's that's my Pisces
Colorism.
twin.
We're fighting against colorism.
That's my Pisces twin, you know what I'm saying? So, we stick up for the Pisces with my homegirl Vitelle Alston now, because she's not Webb anymore. She's Alston now.
That's right.
So, we're going to talk to her today about her upcoming book and some of the things that she got going on for some of the people who may not know what's actually transpiring through her right now through life journey, but she wants to be very candid about that. So we're going to talk to her about that very openly today. So before we get into that, we're going to go to a commercial.
Before we go to a commercial, guys, stay put, okay? Because this story here, you are definitely going to want to hear. You can learn from some things, I'm sure, as well as give her feedback and ask questions and see how she made it through a lot of her transitions that she went through in life. And by her being so young, it's going to be great. So you guys stay tuned. Stay for the commercial. We'll be right back.
Be right back. All right.
I remember this day vividly. That woman sure do know how to push my buttons.
Don't think because I'm in a church, I won't put you back in your place.
I see how you look at me when you're in the pulpit.
She wonder why I do the things I do. It's because of her. In this house, I am your God.
Are you being physically abused? Bro, I am so clumsy. My husband says I have 2 left feet.
You know this can ruin your reputation at this church.
Husbands, love your wives even as Christ also loved the church.
You have to forgive.
How could you do this to me? You said you love me.
And gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
It'll take a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, and a miracle for this one.
And we're back. What's up, Vitelle?
Hi, sis. How are you?
Y'all call me over here multitasking. Shame on me. I ain't doing nothing.
Hey, well, look, that's what Pisces do. We multitask. It's a Pisces thing.
It ain't just Pisces.
Hey, well, it's 2 Pisces on this thing call right now.
Okay, so I'm going to let y'all have it.
So you're out of the running. So what's going on, Vit? For people who don't know who you are, please tell them who you are.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. I am Vitelle Alston. I'm an actress, model, host, entertainer, just all around entertainer. There's literally more stuff that I do than I don't do. So that would be a shorter list if I listed that for y'all. But yeah, that's me. I do a little bit of everything, based here in Atlanta, traveling nationwide. And also, of course, I am a new author. Just published a new book. I am a poetic ensemble. So added that to my list of hats.
Okay. Wow.
Nice.
So, I mean, you know what? I'm not surprised. I mean, because I've watched you do so many things in one day that
I know.
But you having so many hats right now is you know what? It's Vitelle.
I be tired of watching you.
Yeah.
I be like, I get tired just trying to watch you do everything.
Right.
Which, yeah, that's been you ever since we've known you from a young lad. Look.
That's what I should have said. My name's Vitelle. I'm a workaholic.
There you go. That sounds more correct politically correct anyway. So okay, so now let's talk about this book. I mean, that you're an author now. Like, what made you write this book?
Oh my gosh. So this book came about for a few different reasons. First of all, I was working on another book and I'd been working on it for a very long time, but it was just long overdue and taking a lot longer than I would like. So my thought was, you know what, if I get something out there, because I've written so much between poems, songs, just everything. If I get something out there now, then that will maybe motivate me, encourage me to get the other books published and things like that. So I kind of just put together all of a compilation of all of the poems that I've written throughout my journals, throughout my lifetime, and it turned into a memoir. So it's a very unique book. It's a poetic ensemble, as you can see on the cover, but it's written in poetry format because it makes it really easy to read, and because I wrote a lot of poems to get me through a lot of stress in life. So, but it's also a memoir as well. So that's what makes it very unique, as well as it is a self-help book. So look, even my book is multitasking. It's like my book is doing it at one time right now.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you put it out, because when I think of the word memoir, I think somebody in their 70s and 60s, something like that. But you're not even nowhere near that to have a memoir. So either that you're lying about your age, or if you have been through a lot in your life. So which one is it?
Number two, I always say that I'm 34. See, I have to think about it. Lord have mercy. I'm 34 going on 60. I sometimes feel like I've lived a lot of lifetimes. Like you said, I do so much in a day. Like for me, it's like a day can feel like a week can feel like a month, and a month a year, and so on and so on. So because I kind of have that lifestyle, like it just always feels like a lot. And not to mention all the trials and tribulations that I've been through. Thank God for them, because I have gained a lot of wisdom because of that. But strangely enough, all of my friends are like 60 and up. Like my closest friends, a lot of my closest friends are like 60 and up. Some in their 40s or whatever. But I have like no friends my own age. It's crazy.
I mean, that's good.
So, before we get really started, I would like for you to think of a passage in your book that is segue into some things that we're going to go into, some deeper conversations that we're going to have here shortly. So just have that on your mind, because I will have you to read a small passage from your book, and then we're going to segue into some of those deep questions. Okay.
All right.
So can you tell people where they can find your book?
Yes, it's available on Amazon. It's actually in paperback and in Kindle form. You can actually get it free if you have an Amazon Prime Kindle membership, I believe. But yeah, on Amazon.com right now, and it will be available in a lot of other places soon.
I can believe that, because you're Pisces. we move like that. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's how we roll.
And you And you spoke about a book tour that you're doing.
Right. That's about the book tour.
Yeah, you can actually catch me in person a lot. Well, see, the thing is, what had happened was my book got published, and then the whole world shut down. So I had to cancel a lot of stuff. I had like a lot of events lined up, book signings, public speaking engagements to talk more in depth about the book. And I just had to cancel a lot of things. So I'm kind of trying to get it lined back up right now. So that's something that I definitely would invite people to subscribe to my website so that they can keep track of things as I get them, secured. So, but yeah, you can catch me in person, different events, public speaking. If you want me to come to your city, I'm open to different bookings right now. I'm traveling nationwide. So
come to Vegas. Come to Vegas.
I'm on my way to Vegas with this book. I am. It's on my list.
So what the things that you got going on, like you're a model, you're an actress, you're an author now. I mean, like with so many hats that you wear, like what is one of the hats that you wear that is pretty much you? You know what I'm saying? You know say our job define who we are. Which one of those hats really define who you really are that you think?
Well, out of the ones you mentioned, I would say actress. That's always been my first love and passion. But out of the ones unmentioned, if I could expand that, I would say wife and mother, because obviously those are number one. I am a wife and mother of 3. So I have to juggle those hats as well as the professional hats as well. So.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's a good answer. Good answer,
So, Vitelle, we've been knowing you for a very long time. And we know some of your ups and downs. So when we were filming Flags on the Field, she was one of our leads in our show, Flags on the Field. You were going through some things that we were not aware of.
Right.
And you would show up to set ready to work every time, never disappointed, all while being homeless.
Right. Yeah.
not to mention, and when I say homeless, guys, I'm talking sleeping in her car with her babies. Okay, this is homeless I'm talking about. Not to mention, you had have a nonprofit organization that reaches back and help the homeless. So you were not only homeless yourself, but you were reaching back and helping the homeless at the same time. Give us a little bit about your story there.
I mean, that for me is like I handle anything. Like it really helps me through my own situation to be able to help other people. So yeah, like you mentioned, I was homeless, living in my vehicle, had the 2 kids at the time. This was before my baby girl, and was married at that time as well. And yeah, it just, I don't really know how. It was one of those situations, I guess. This is, by the way, the first book that I've been working on forever is what that situation is, what this book's about. It's called The Homeless System. So that will be coming soon. But it describes in depth more of the specific homeless situation that I went through. And it was kind of a matter of deciding between paying the rent and losing the car, which meant I wouldn't be able to get to work, wouldn't be able to have income, would eventually lose the apartment and then end up on the streets without a car to sleep in, or pay the car note and go live in the car. So a lot of people, unfortunately, have had to make that decision, especially lately with COVID and everything and people out of work and stuff like that. So it was a decision that had to be made. And my stage play, The Face of Homeless, if you haven't seen that, definitely look it up on Facebook. It will be coming back again soon. I've done it 13 times in Atlanta, and it actually depicts that homeless situation as well. So, and we will be taking that on tour, hopefully within the next year, as we see what this pandemic does. That is the depiction of what I went through and helping other people throughout my struggle as well.
So in that situation, and we're going to go over to your the other topics we wanted to talk about in just a moment. In that situation, what advice would you give someone that was doing what you did?
As far as being homeless in general?
As far as pretty much giving your all, because you pretty much gave your all, right? And you put yourself out there to help other people who were in need. When it was your turn, you wind up homeless. So what advice would you give to someone who has that heart like you do, but they just don't know how to, I guess, go about doing things?
I would say just to stay encouraged and recognize that the situation is temporary. Like when I do refer to homeless people or I'm talking directly to them, in those cases, I always say, are you temporarily displaced? Because that describes it better to me, because it is a temporary situation. As long as you stay on your grind, keep your head up, stay positive, and all those things. Like I said, for me, it really helped me. It was therapy for me and got me through my situation to help other people. I know not everybody works like that, but to put a smile on somebody else's face when you're going through it, I couldn't see why that wouldn't put a smile on your own face, So, yeah.
With so much of that going on, I mean, the average human going to take with so much. I mean, so with all that happening, I know there was some breaking points, you know what I'm saying? And from what I understand, there was a recent breaking point. Let's go into more about that. Like what actually happened and drove you to that particular point? Because as a Pisces, and I don't go with signs too much, but I think as a Pisces, we put a lot on us, and sometimes the whole world just becomes very heavy at that one particular time, at any given moment. So we had that breaking point. What was that breaking point for you?
Yes. So just recently, last week, the week before, so all my days run together because I'm always doing too much. But yes, I did have a breakdown, and this is my first time talking about it publicly. So I'm a little bit nervous today. Plus I'm talking with my people. So y'all know I love y'all. So it's personal. But yeah, I did have a breakdown and actually had myself committed to get some mental help. at a mental hospital. And this was just, like I said, a week or two ago. I didn't stay long, but just like anything that I do, the amount that I accomplished, the growth that I experienced in that short amount of time, 2.5 days was like more like a month for a normal person. And even the counselors themselves saw that, which is why I was released so quickly. Although one of the nurses was like, I don't know, like usually people stay a minimum of 5 to 7 days. So I'm a little concerned about releasing you so soon. And I'm like, I got this, like, 'cause I'm just learner, like, and the things that I was learning in there, it's not like I didn't know them. It was more of a refresher for me and a reminder and a confirmation that I was on the right track. Like everything that happened while I was in there was just more and more confirmation. Like, okay, I've been doing this right all this time and nobody taught me this up until now. So now they're teaching me what I kind of already knew. So it was an overwhelming slew of growth, I guess, is the best way to put it. And I'm not going to say that I came out of the hospital completely healed in a couple of days. I feel like mental health is a work in progress for everybody, whatever the situation that you're dealing with. I personally was I was having a panic attack. First of all, let me say that. As I was checking myself into the hospital, my arms and legs were going numb. I couldn't breathe. Uncontrollable crying that had been going on for a few days by that time. And it just was it was a nervous breakdown. That's the only way I could describe it. I was having a nervous breakdown, panic attack, whatever you want to call it. And I was still holding on to that bit of sanity that was saying, go get some professional help because this is too much. You can't handle this by yourself. So that being said, I marched myself into the hospital. My husband right there to catch me if I fall. Him, confused, not sure what to do, how to handle it, but being as supportive as he possibly could. And just, knowing that he was there was more help than I could ever ask for, really. And just, went back there, and that was the hardest. Okay, I'm gonna get through this interview. I had to talk with my kids prior to going to checking myself in, and it was kind of a end all conversation. It was kind of okay, if I don't make it through this, I can't make it here on this earth. So it was kind of a goodbye, but then there was that hint of hope to say, if I go in here and I get this help, then I can do better. I can be better. I can accomplish everything that I know that God has promised me, everything that I've seen for my future that just, moments prior to that I felt was hopeless and lost and done. And it's over. And all of those negative things, I just, was holding on to that little bit of hope. So I said my farewells basically to my kids. In so many words, I told them how great of kids they are, how they've kept me alive up to this point. They've been my encouragement and my inspiration when I wanted to give up, and just giving them some positive advice for the future that I felt like, well, maybe I haven't talked about this yet. Let me make sure they know this for their future in case I'm not there. And that was tough. That was the hardest part, was talking to my kids as if I'm not going to be there tomorrow, because even if I overcame the suicide, I felt like the stress was so bad, I'm going to have a stroke. Like I'm going to kill myself one way or another. So that was tough. And then the second hardest part after that was when I actually got to the hospital and saying goodbye to my husband when they said, no, you can't go back there. The COVID thing, you can't have guests, you can't have people back in the ER with you and things like that. So they told him, he asked, and I go back there and they're like, nope, you got to let us. And I had a police escort, an armed police escort to take me away. And it's like, when it's a voluntary situation, it's like I was forcing myself to do what I knew was best for me. But there was still this voice saying, you know what, I could stop at any time and be like, yeah, I'll be over it by tomorrow. I'm fine. I'm just going to go home, Like I knew in the whole drive there, like I'm telling myself, don't you talk yourself out of this. Like you need this. You have to have this. And I went and that it was like, the little bit of feet down the hallway, just walking away from him and him just standing there helpless and not knowing that I'm causing that kind of stress and pain for him. And it was just it was a overwhelming situation, but necessary. I'll say that.
I get it. Like we go through those things, I'm just like you. I look at you as like a mirror. So I've been there. I've been there plenty of times. Been there recently. Obviously, I didn't get myself committed, but I understand where you're going from. So you're not alone in that situation. And I think the thing that helps the most is being able to talk about it. Being able to get that off your chest, even if that person you're talking to can't answer or give a reason why you feel that way. Just let them know this is how I feel. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Is to me is a breath of fresh air, because so long us as people as Pisces, I'm going to say Pisces because you and I have the same thing. As Pisces, sometimes we feel that we can't talk to everybody. We can't share what we want to say because we think 3 steps ahead. If I say this, you're going to respond this way. If I say this, you're going to respond that way. So we come to the conclusion, not say nothing at all, because we don't want to either let this person look at us differently or feel a certain kind of way because we are expressing how we feel. So you're not alone in thinking that way at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that you did go to the hospital. I'm glad that Saga is there for you. I'm glad that you have those 3 beautiful babies that look up to you and going to see you blossom and get out of this funk, because they need that role model now. You know what I'm saying? They need that from you now, because I met your boys, and I met Rain too. That's my little girlfriend. That's my little buddy. I love her too. But I met your boys, and your boys are so strong. They're so strong now because they've been through that with you. But you look at those boys don't have no resentments. Those boys don't have no, I don't want to be here. Those boys are happy. They love their mama. They be to work with you. So whatever you've done or doing, you're doing great by them. You're doing great by them. So whenever you get to that particular point, remember you have done great by them. And that all that matters. Saga is your corner. He's your rock. Yes, be able to express how you feel and talk to him and say what you want to feel without having any shame or animosity. Because sometimes we just want to be able to say something what's on our mind and not have to think 3 or 4 steps ahead, because we know if we say certain things, this is going to trigger this, and we'd rather not have that trigger. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I totally understand that.
So speaking of your babies, how did they handle that, what you felt as though the last talk? Did they quite understand?
I didn't straight up say like I want to kill myself or anything like that. But I was honest with them, and I just let them know like how many times I've cried in silence and not let them see me cry. Like I explained to them that normally when I'm breaking down, when I'm crying, when I'm going through something, I try to hide it from them. But at the same time, I can't always. And I think it's good for them to see it on occasion, because they realize that life is hard and that, there's going to be some things that you have to deal with that are going to be difficult. So it was that type of talk. And I think even though I didn't specifically say, I don't want to live anymore or anything like that, I think they got it. One of my kids is like so just straight face. He don't respond to nothing. Like and even he was teary-eyed. They both were teary-eyed. My youngest, he's more of the baby, and he broke down crying. And of course he's got to be the tough guy. So he's going off, he went for a walk, after it, but I could tell that it affected them. And I just let them know how important it was that I get myself healthy, so that I can be a better mom. And that's what it was. Yeah, it was hard. They went and spent the week with their best friends. So I kind of, after being honest with them, shifted them towards that and like, hey, y'all get to go have fun,
Yeah, to get their mind off.
After that.
Right. That's good. I mean, you have that support system, and you know what I'm saying. So you're very blessed in that aspect. Some of us didn't have that support system. So continue to use that support system. Like I said, Saga, that he's on here now. He's he say he loves you. We know he loves you. You got a few people on here.
Because I do want to say, since you're on the subject of support system, that was one of the things that I didn't know that I had. Like they ask you, do you have a support system? And when you're in that dark place, you're like, no, nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. It's that's how you feel at that moment. So it's hard to recognize a support system. And when you are going through stress and dealing with anxiety, depression, feeling suicidal, all of those things, the last thing you want to do is call somebody who you think loves you and put it on them. Or, you can't think about the support system because you don't want to bother anybody. Or you just don't feel like they really care enough, or whatever the case may be. But this was an eye opener for me in this situation too, because I did see how people kicked into high gear, and a lady from my church was able to drive. She had to drive like an hour and a half. It had to have been that far away to where we were, because I couldn't even drive anymore. Like my legs and arms were shutting down. I wasn't with Saga at the time. I had drove the truck, and who can even get to me? She got to me and got my kids. My best friend Shasha got to Saga, picked him up and brought him to me to get me and the truck. It's like, just even in the moment when I felt nobody loved me, nobody cared, I was able to see, even though I couldn't express it at that moment, I was able to see the people that loved me. And that in itself was overwhelming and gave me more hope, because I had to stop believing that lie that nobody loves you. And I had to see that these people are coming,
Oh yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. I mean, you overcame that. It's easier said than done, because we know deep down inside, oh, these people love us. They love us so much. But when we go into that funk, we know like no one gives a shit about us. No, that's how we feel. You know what I'm saying? We feel like, so I'm just saying, this is being real. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like I said, I go through those most myself, and I'm sure I drive Renee crazy with it. But it's something that I have to go through. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I have to run this course before I'm able to be back who I am, the funny, joke a lot type of person. I have to let it run this course. I've learned that's how I have to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's so I have to rely on my own internal support system, because when I grew up, I didn't have that.
Right. Yeah,
and his showed outward. So now, in that, what was your experience being there where you were?
Okay, so this interview ain't long enough for this, but I'm gonna tell you now. This is my composition book that they gave me after giving me some broke ass crayons. Since you cussed, I guess I could. And a piece of paper so that I don't kill myself with a pen or whatever. But finally I was able to get a composition book and a pen and write down, because there was so much stuff happening. I was like, this is a freaking movie. Because even in the midst of the worst storm, like I can't help but be me. And I'm like thinking entertainment thoughts and everything that's happening. I'm like, somebody's got to see this. Like, so I started writing a script, obviously. And so once they gave me this book, I literally filled this thing up with my script. And so I wrote a whole play about everything I experienced in here. And right now I'm just working on compiling it, summing up some of the characters that I encountered to minimize it for the purpose of stage. But for the most part, I'm keeping it 100% real, word for word, what was happening, what was going on. Like literally every time somebody would say something crazy, I was, you know what, I got to write that down. I'm gonna put that in my, because it was a lot of stuff going on, because it was a process from the ER, sitting back there waiting in the ER for so long with somebody supervising you, make sure you don't hurt yourself. Then from there into a holding cell where I had a human encyclopedia in the hallway that just would not shut up, and it just talked about everything. Like he just knew everything. You would think he was reading a book. It was crazy. And then, you know, of course, the nurse that talks about you like you're not standing right there. And like there's so many characters in this that I can't make this stuff up. Like it just was happening right in front of me. And strange thing about me is when I'm the funniest or the most sarcastic is when I'm in pain or stressed out, or something's pain about me. There's some pain going on with me. So you should see me in labor. It was hilarious. But like I was just so sarcastic and at my funniest, even though at that moment it was not funny to me. I had people laughing in there and was just saying everything that came to my mind, because I was in a place where it didn't matter the judgment. We all crazy up in here. So, so that was one of the feelings that I was able to experience, to just say what was on my mind without worrying about how it was going to affect anybody. And it was beautiful. And that's something that I try to hold on to and bring back out here with me into the real world. That was a good trait that I kind of already have. I don't have much of a filter as it is, but for the most part, I think I lost my filter altogether in there. There's none at all anymore. But that's what that kind of place will do to you. But yeah, so from there, from the holding cell into the actual facility itself. And that was an experience. When I first came in, I'm mission driven right now. Like, this has to work. So I'm focused on what I need, what's best for me, self-care, like even just to be locked up and not be able to work, aside from writing my script, for that long, 2 days. It was painful. Like, I'm a workaholic, so I need to check my emails. I need to check my text. Like, my phone was up when I turned it back on. I cannot deal with this. So it was a lot of stuff that I was like, this is what's best. I need to stop working for a minute. I need to just be sitting in a room with nothing but a bed, a window that you can't really see out of because it's fall.
Uh-oh. You froze up.
That's okay. We got a somewhat of a bad connection there with her connection. I'm sure she'll be back online in just a moment. Hopefully you guys are getting something out of her story. Yes. And her being transparent, as well as my husband. He's being very transparent. It's not something that he talk about quite often. So being able to share is a healing process. So hopefully you guys don't go anywhere. We're going to get her back on. I'm not sure. It looked like her internet connection may have dropped right now, but it's okay. She will be back on. And I if you guys have any questions for her, I know that our show is going to go a little bit longer today. Your ability to turn negative into positive.
Yes,
everything.
Yes, Shasha.
Man, listen, for her to be able to go in and, and look at all of these things like, okay, you know what? I need to write about this.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? Like I said, I've been in those particular places. I even committed myself at one point, before marriage, before Renee. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to sit ourselves down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and because if we don't, we're smart enough to know that, okay, we're in trouble. Our mind is telling us to do all kinds of things to ourselves and people around us. We need to go shut down somewhere. So, for her to even have that on her mind to go to the hospital to commit herself is a blessing within itself, because so many people don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't have that ability or that discipline to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I credit it for her being a Pisces.
Yeah. Now let's talk about when you told me, because he committed himself way before we got together, right? So tell us a look, because I know I remember you saying you were in there for like what, 5 days?
Yeah, I was in there for 5 days.
He went the whole 5 days, but tell him what happened.
Well, I realized that my situation wasn't as bad as I thought it was. That's for one. You know what I'm saying? Because there were some people in there who had issues that were way worse than mine. And, it's so, but it put a light onto what I'm going through. Yeah, it's bad for me, but at least I'm not dealing with what this person has going on. You know what I'm saying? And what this person had going on, I was able to sit back and look. Now, this is before I really got into the whole filmmaking thing. I mean, if I'd have thought about it, I probably could have wrote a story about it too, because there was some crazy characters in there as well. So, when the depression comes, it comes. I mean, I call it depression because I could be happy right now today, and boom, a dark cloud just come over me, and I'm like, "Fuck you! I don't want to be around you," or I'm not going to not say anything. I'm not going to be happy. I'm just going to be turned down. So it happens. You know what I'm saying? But when you have somebody in your corner like Renee and like Vitelle has Saga, it helps us a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because medication is not always the thing. Sometimes you just need to talk to somebody. Right, so I was blessed in that aspect. I'm trying to get everybody going in the comments. Okay, I think she's back.
She's coming back in.
Okay, hey V, are you back?
Okay, the devil is a lie, as the old folks say. Okay,
I know that's right.
That's right. So we're trying to hold on till you got back. So we kind of talked a little bit, but we're glad you're back.
Yeah,
you know what? Work. I purposely came to a place where
You kind of
yeah, she cutting in and out. She just got to find that good space. Let's see what BJ says. Sometimes even when you know you have people around you that love you, it can still be a challenge to truly find that love within you for yourself.
You're totally right. You're totally right. We got here probably depression. The real depression is not a choice. It's right. Yeah. It's not a choice. You know, when you're depressed, we can't say, "Hey, I don't want to be depressed on Monday, but I come back on Tuesday." It doesn't work that way. You good, V? Are you back?
I think so. I hope so. Like, it's crazy. I have 2 separate Wi-Fi connection options. This is why I came to this house, and it makes no sense that my phone is what's working right now. So let's hope it stays that way, because it's been cutting off on me all week since they took over. T-Mobile taking over everything. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that tangent.
Don't worry. Do you remember what you left
I remember where you left off. You said that you were in your room. You just needed a bed. You needed a window that you couldn't really see out of.
Yes. So yeah, I was able to get a loan. That was the point I was trying to make, was that you know, to get a loan and to have not a lot on my plate like I normally do, and just focus on nothing but me and God, just me and him. That's all it was. And because of COVID, there was not as many like normally they have a full schedule of different counseling groups and different things that you participate in, but because of COVID, there was nothing going on except eat, go to your room, eat again, go to your room. You know, it was just that's it. So I was frustrated at first, because I'm like, dang it, I came for some help. I need counseling. I need this and that. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? This is probably just what I need, is to do nothing. Like, literally by the end of the first day, I felt so much better just to have nothing on my plate, because that was probably my biggest problem, is just wearing so many hats all the time, being a workaholic, trying to juggle family and career. I just had a lot on my plate, to the point that I just carried too much of a load. So just to get that off for a minute was a relief, knowing that my kids were safe, knowing that everybody was good, and I didn't have to worry about anything. And so I wrote, like, I filled up this whole book. I kept writing. That was therapy enough as well. And then by the time I did get a chance to talk to some counselors and a couple different people, I ended up what would the proper term be? Therapizing. I made that up just now.
Okay,
I therapized them.
Okay, give us that definition.
So they were supposed to be giving me therapy while I was in there, but about maybe 15 minutes into the conversation, I'm talking to the therapist and telling her about my book, because I could not help myself, and and I'm trying not to work, so I was trying not to promote, but it just came naturally. Like, ironically, I just wrote a book about depression and suicide, and here I am. Ain't that something? So it was really hard not to acknowledge that fact. And so she ends up asking questions about the book, and we're talking about the book, and she told me straight up, her exact words were, I am one decision away from being on the other side of this camera, because we were talking through a Skype video, and you being the counselor. Like, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm like, wow. And then she ended up telling me how the counselors have to get counseling because I said to her, like, I don't know how you do this. Like, to carry everybody's burdens and load all day, every day. How do you manage? And she's like, well, it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, I do that. Like, I don't have a degree, and I'm not trying to be a therapist, but naturally, you know, because I put it out there that this is something that I have knowledge about, whether I'm public speaking or just the fact that I say, hey, I wrote a book about this, like, people are going to reach out to me. And that's just something that's to be expected, to say, hey, you seem like a professional in this matter. I need some help. I have some questions and all of this stuff. And as much as I try to avoid checking every single message all the time so that I don't get overwhelmed, I get overwhelmed, and I want to fix all of their problems. Everybody who reaches out to me, whether I know them or not. Like, honestly, I have a girl who's reached out to me for, I don't know, it's been months now. Every time she texts me saying whatever her story is at that moment, I send her a Cash App. Like, I just, why am I doing this? I have no obligation to this woman. I don't know her from the man on the moon, but I feel a pull, and I've got to do something to help her, you know? And so I really worked on that while I was in there, and I'm still working on it now. It is a work in progress. I have to make myself available when it's necessary and pull back often.
That's right.
I'm having to do it a lot right now.
That's right.
Like, tomorrow is going to be kind of an off day for me because I've been going hard the last 2 days, and I was like, you know what, 2 days in a row of Piscesness is enough. So I'm gonna take a little break tomorrow. I might submit to some castings, check a few emails or something like that, maybe post on social media. But other than that, like, I'm gonna go sit by the water most of the day, maybe do my nails with my daughter. Like, just, I have to do that because I noticed that ever since the hospital, I think I'm getting there a lot faster. Like, I'm getting to the fed up point a lot faster. Maybe because I'm not completely all the way down yet. But so I'm checking myself. I'm paying attention to the signs. I'm paying attention to my body and my anxiety and everything. And I'm writing more. I'll probably work on the script tomorrow because that doesn't really feel like work, even though
it's work.
But it's a release.
It's therapy too. So.
Yeah, it's a release. Now, let me interrupt you just for 1 second because I need to get this in here. You know, you're my little sister. You know, I love you dearly, right? Yes, I want you to understand, first of all, you're an empath, right? So you take on and you carry other people's stuff. A lot of the stuff that you go through, a lot of times it don't be your shit. And I'm going to just be real with you. It be other people's shit that you're dealing with. And I had to learn that also. I learned that the hard way, just like you. I learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
You have to know that everybody is not your assignment.
Right.
Know who your assignments are. I had to shut it down because I was that go-to person where everybody would come and they'd tell me all of their problems, and then I'll end up carrying it. It'll carry over in my personal life. It'll carry over into my marriage. It'll carry over into other things until I had to sit and realize, like, hold up. You know what I'm saying? This is too much for me. And when you become real with yourself and say, you know what, enough is enough, this is too much, then you will start to see the burden is lifted. Don't know that you're an empath. Know how you can actually get through that part of being an empath. Know that everybody is not your assignment, baby. You can send them your book for free if you want to. You can send them a passage from your book. You can tell them that, you know what, I will put you on my prayer list, whatever you need to do, but don't take on everybody's stuff. Because when you already in a weak place yourself, it becomes too much. And although you would feel like this is mine, a lot of times it's not yours.
Right.
It's yours.
It's not yours. It's somebody else's that you're holding on to. So, and I had to tell some of my other little sisters that too, because I think we all face that, and we have to know that, you know what, let me recognize what it is, right? And you have to go through the process. Make sure you're processing what it is and know what it is when it comes. So, okay, I know that sometimes I get depressed, but I know how to handle it. I handle it on a different level. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to handle it. I know, okay, this is hitting me. Let me get up. Let me do what I need to do to make sure that, first of all, is it mine?
Right.
Second of all, okay, if it is mine, let me take care of it. If I need to shut down for a day and don't cook, don't clean, don't do nothing but the bare basics, I do that. And I'm glad that my husband allowed me to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I just want you to know that, baby. I want you to know and recognize where you are, because I know you try to help everybody. You are that yes person. You know, anybody that come to you, you're like, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I can do it. Yes. And then it becomes too much.
Absolutely. Yeah. You preaching to the choir. It's like even with being in there, it's like, you know, you're telling me what I know, but I got to get it in there and do it. Like,
it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. You know what I'm saying?
It takes practice. And
it takes time and practice.
Like being in the hospital was a good, like, booster or jump start, I guess you could say, because I had to isolate myself. Now it's funny because when the first full day that I was there and came into the day room, and I could just feel the energy and see the curious people. Who's this in here? You know, you can almost hear the thoughts. Is that bad when you're an empath? So you know what I'm talking about. But it's like, you know, and so I gotta get away from these people. I gotta go isolate myself to my room because I want to help them now. I can't. This is the purpose of me being here.
Right.
So I isolated myself the whole first 24 hours or longer. I isolated myself, and as soon as I came out, I had to come get lunch. You know, you had to come out a couple times. And this one girl, she's like, "Can you want to play cards with me?" And I'm like, no. I'm like, well, actually, because I knew she needed a friend, but you know,
Right.
part of the reason I'm here is to learn how to say no. So
Right.
no, and it felt good, and it was rejuvenating to say no more often. So I felt like that was some good practice and a good jump start for me with saying no. And I'm still practicing, even with the phone calls and the texts that I received. I put up a Facebook post, let everybody know what was going on at one time, so I didn't have to talk to each individual person. But the phone calls and texts were still overwhelming, and I shut it off. And it helped that T-Mobile keeps shutting my phone down. But you know, it's like a sign from God, even in that. But like I kept shutting it down. Like every time, if I got 4, 5, 6 back to back and it started and I felt my blood pressure start to go up, I just turned it off. Like, no, I can't answer everybody. I can't respond. You read the post, you know what's going on, you know.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all you need to do. That's a move to the right. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do, baby girl. I just want you did right. When you said no, you be like, oh, that felt good. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, I said no. I'm telling you, when you so used to saying yes to everything, and you trying to carry everything, and your first no, baby, you feel empowered, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but here's the downside of that, because when you start telling your support system no, then that's where the problem comes.
I knew you was gonna say that because I seen Saga's little comment pop up. I ain't studying him. Ain't nobody tell him no.
But then you say, you know what? I'm just gonna decline in love. Right now, I have to take care of me. I'm not feeling it today, baby. Let's come back to this tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And decline in love. And if they love you truly, they will understand. They'd be like, you know what? I get it. I understand. You know, I definitely understand where you're coming from. It's always a way of saying and doing things, you know? So if it is your support system and you can't carry that at that moment, decline in love.
Right.
Yeah, I think this was so much preparation for me as far as the future goes. Like, you know, I went in feeling hopeless, like the future that I saw for myself is not going to happen. And then I was just reminded even more that it is, and that this was part of that preparation, because as I grow in my career, like, I don't know if any of y'all do this, but I self-sabotage a lot. Like I've had a lot of really close brushes with fame, and I've self-sabotaged. I don't know if it's like a fear of success or what it is, but I think that that's part of, as I'm working on myself, that I'm going to be able to overcome that at this point, and I'm ready to propel forward, because I think the overwhelmness of the industry, like the more known you are, like for me, acting is a passion. It is definitely a calling. It is something that I do naturally and is a gift from God. But the better you are at it, the more famous you're going to get. And fame is never anything that I've wanted. Some people do this for the fame, but I run away from it in the opposite direction when I feel the fame coming, if that makes sense. So
no, it makes total sense. Trust me. We did a video before. Sometimes, you know, we want to be successful so bad that we fear the success when it comes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we sabotage ourselves. You know, it's like, you know,
it's a fear of failure and a fear of success.
Right.
So, and that is right there, baby. It can put you in a position and a situation that you don't understand, quite frankly. And so many of us do have those toxic characteristics of self-sabotage.
Right.
So you are not alone in that. You know what I mean? I know when my husband started going through it, and we're right on the brink of something, I can see when he starts to shut down, and he don't understand. I might get quiet, baby. I'm in my prayer closet.
Yeah.
I am
part of
everything. Go ahead, baby.
I think part of it for me is like, I'm adding more responsibility to myself. The more people depend on me, like even with this interview, my nerves were shot prior to getting on here, because I feel like, you know, it's as extreme as people's lives depend on it. Like, I don't know who's watching that follows me that might be suicidal themselves, and anything that I say can make or break their destiny. Like, I feel like it's that serious. So when it comes to the art, knowing that it's my calling and I'm going into it, using my gift to bring people to Christ, to help people in their life, in their walk, it's such a huge responsibility. So in practicing saying no, and in practicing finding that balance and taking care of myself, putting myself first and my family, it's made me feel more like I'm ready for what happens next. Because I can look at everybody and say, here, I'm going to give this much of me to you today. Now I'm cutting it off. Work with what you got, and I'll be back when I get rested up or whatever I need to do, So I feel more confident in the fact that I can do that. And I think it will make me self-sabotage less. Hopefully. We'll see.
Now, see, you just spoke an awesome word, and I love you for that. And just know that we are all proud of you. We are rooting for you.
Definitely.
I know what you go through, and trust me, I may not come to you and say it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But know that you are right there in my spirit. I pray for you. I keep you. I send you healing energies, especially when I know you're going through something. I'm sending you those healing energies. You know what I'm saying? Because we need that. We need those people that's going to stand off on the sideline and send those to us, because sometimes we're just too weak to do it for ourselves. So when you feel weak, just know that you have a sister over here
in Vegas
that's sending you those healing energies, okay? That's sending you that hope. So with all of that being said, taking away from everything that you just went through and you experienced, can you tell someone right now in this present moment how you are dealing with it? You haven't overcame it just yet, because there's still chapters in that book. But right now, in this present moment, can you commit to us on how you're going to deal with this?
Absolutely. Like I said, self-care is coming first. It is first now. Recognizing when I'm getting overwhelmed and stopping, and recognizing that it's going to be okay, that the world's still going to go on if I don't run around helping everybody, and just allowing myself, and if you're going through this, I'm saying this to you as well, like allow yourself to grow and change, and don't expect it to happen overnight. Like, I've made it this far without committing myself and without medication or anything, but I've dealt with depression, suicidal thoughts on and off throughout my entire life, and different trials and tribulations. So when I do backslide, for lack of a better word, I beat myself up. So I would advise people not to beat yourself up. Like, understand that each time you go through something, that you're growing and that you're getting better, and just take notes of where you might have messed up this time, what you can do better next time, whatever the case may be. Like, literally, you may have to write down notes, put sticky notes up to remind you. And just figure out what works for you, because it's different. Like, I could give advice all day long because it's different for everybody. But, getting by some water, that's what we actually just moved the RV near the lake today. So tomorrow I'll be sitting by some water. That's relaxing and peaceful for me. And just staying prayerful constantly. Like, I literally have to pray constantly to not go there. Especially when you're surrounded by frustrating people sometimes in the world. But, I just keep my relationship with God first, and taking care of myself. I'm honoring Him.
There you go. I mean, you can't ask for a better statement than that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real. Like I said, like, I don't talk about mine too much like you did, but I've got the marks, the scars to show that I tried to take myself out plenty of times. So a lot of people don't understand that, because I don't share that part about myself, but I've been there, you know what I'm saying? And I got the marks to prove it. But I don't wear it as a badge of honor. I wear it as, you know what, things can get better. Because I can look down at my arm and it's like, okay, that's 20-something counts. That's 20-something cuts on my arm. So 21 ain't make it yet. You know what I'm saying? So I can look down and say, okay, I've been there. So you got that too. And like I said, you have a great support system. Saga, the boys, Shasha, all of them, who take care of you. You take care of them back, because they got you.
That's right. And I love you for that. So now, with all of that being said, can you give us like some things? Where can they find you? Where can they reach you? Tell them, how they can get your book.
Yeah, for the book, not for counseling now.
Right. Right, for the book, that's why it's a self-help book. Like, I don't take responsibility for nothing you decide to do based off this self-help. But help yourself. But no, you can find me online. My website is vitelle.net. That's Vitelle. Vitelle.net is the best way to find me, because on the homepage, I have links to all of my social media. So you can follow me on all your social media sites, as well as subscribe to my website. That's the most important thing, because sorry, I just saw BJ's message and threw me off. see, no. I just said it's live. But no, just go on my website, subscribe to my website, because I'm gonna be diligent with sending out emails. I will be having a casting call soon for my show, which, by the way, I didn't finish telling you about. It's called Me, Myself, and I. And it's called that because I have me, I have someone playing myself, and I have someone playing I, and they represent the thoughts that take place, that were taking place during the process. It's all set in the ER and in the mental health facility. It's going to be something very different for me, but it's definitely like God wrote this. I just took the pen and paper and wrote it all down. But that's coming soon, so look out for that casting information.
Awesome.
That's and my book is available on Amazon as well as on my website. And matter of fact, I just remembered I was going to do something tonight for your viewers only. So only people who are watching this are going to get this special deal. Okay. I'm not posting it on my Facebook or nothing. If you cash app $10 to $Vitelle, that's half the price of the book. The book is $20 on Amazon, includes shipping and handling and everything. $10 to $Vitelle. From watching this live, I'm going to ship you a signed autographed copy of the book. Make sure you put the mailing address in the comments. But that's what I'm gonna do for Bobby and Renee People's show.
All right. Well, we definitely appreciate that when we get little perks and stuff like that. We got the book already, so we already have the book. So where it is a different story. I don't know where it's at.
You know, we got it right before we were getting ready
to the book. You lost it.
Yeah, so
it's not lost.
No, it's not lost. It's
in one of our boxes.
Right, that's in the garage.
It's in one of these boxes.
We still unpacking.
Right. So,
well,
but
I do have a lot of shameless plugs for y'all in this book, especially in the introduction, as I talk about, what kind of led me to go ahead and push and get the book out ASAP. Definitely working on Flags on the Field was a huge huge deal for me. Playing a suicidal character while I was actually suicidal.
See, now, we didn't know that was the crazy part, because we had no idea what was going on. And what
like, that's some good acting.
Yeah.
I was like,
but Renee told you that, I want to edit this scene. Renee said, she was going through that for real. I'm like, and what you mean for real? Like, she can act,
Yeah, I need y'all to read that book.
She was definitely going through it. So, like, I remember editing that scene, like, wow, man, like, you really brought it.
Man, you rocked that scene. And the fact that the tears were real, and the fact that that whole scene was so powerful. It brought me to tears while we were doing it.
Right, because Courtney, Chelsea, everybody was there, because I think they were trying to hold you down or something. That was the fight scene. But everybody was there, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we have been around.
I talk about it in detail in my book.
Yeah. So
wow. Where's my book? Let me go get my. I'm about to go get it right now.
Well, I know she started. Renee started
reading it, and then it was like we got so busy. But I'm about to go get my book, and I'm about to sit down and read it, and then I'm gonna be sending you messages.
Right.
Like, we're gonna do a whole nother interview based on
But you know what though? We missed the DTTO show. So what's up with that?
I know it's so much to figure out. This COVID thing has just wrecked so much. It's a lot.
Take a book, a page for TPN Live. I mean, because that was you and Saga had a great show. I mean, it's still one of my favorite podcasts out there. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys bring good talent. You guys are good together. You guys, have good energy and stuff like that. And I think that was a good outlet for you as well. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have these outlets like these podcasts like that. It's an outlet. It gives us a chance to talk our own issues. You know what I'm saying? So I think
we definitely consider doing it. We just, it's one of those things like, I gotta be careful. I gotta decide how much to put on my plate. It's one of those
right.
No, I get it.
That's right.
I get it. I totally get it.
That's right, baby. That's right. You decide how you want to approach things and when you want to approach it. It took us a minute to bring back TPN Live because at one point I was like, you know what, baby, this is too much.
Yeah.
We need to take a breather. I need a break for a minute. You know,
but the crazy part, we was doing it twice a month. Now we're doing 4 times a month. So I don't know how it's different because we're doing it more times.
You did trick me. We are doing this 4 times.
So I don't know how it's different because we were doing it twice a month. Now we're doing it every week.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was overwhelming. It was like I would get overwhelmed going into the show each week and feeling like, you know, I've got to stop whatever I'm doing and go do the show at a specific time. Like for me, that's why I can't keep a day job. Like I just can't do it, because to clock in on somebody else's time exactly by this time, like the best I can do is getting on the interview in time. Like that's like, so it was tough for me even in that sense, but I don't know. It's like you miss it, gotta weigh the pros and cons. But
From Pain to Purpose Inc. just paid for the book, so they want to let you know they paid for their book.
Awesome. That's amazing. If you forget to include your mailing address in the Cash App, then you can inbox it to me. Or some, there's all kinds of different ways to. I at least skim through my messages. I may not open every single one, but I skim through to make sure I'm not missing any cats, because I've got casted on Facebook before, so it's a lot, but it's a lot to keep up with. But I'm balancing it good right now.
Yes, awesome.
Definitely.
Well, we're not going to take up too much more of your time. We just really appreciate you taking the time out, especially, you know, going through last week, the week that you had, and you still committed to be here. We love you so much, and we thank you so much. This has been an amazing, awesome show. People were saying that it was needed. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that whatever they were going through, they can think about some things, some pointers that you put out there that can help them through whatever it is that they're dealing with right now.
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
This is the first time speaking out. There's going to be a lot more. I'm going to start doing live. I'm not going to commit to a specific date and time because that's a lot for me, but I'm going to start randomly going live and just doing what I call book talks. I did one a while back before all of this, and just going in depth more with the book for people who have read it, who have questions. My book is very, deep, I guess. I can't think of a better word right now, but there's a lot of different codes, a lot of different images and visuals and things like that you just have to find, or you have to know me to find them. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that in person as well as online until this COVID thing clears up.
Awesome. Okay, well, from Pain to Purpose Inc., her real name is Amber Lyons. So
got you. I just saw it pop up on my screen. So
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you, Amber. We appreciate you for watching and you know, being a guest, being a customer of the show. What a customer?
Support.
Yes.
Not a customer. Well, she bought something. She's a customer now.
Well, yeah, Vitelle customer. Okay, supporter.
But anyway, hey, you know we love you, girl. You still my light skinned sister, my red bone. Hey, but you know what? Look, y'all come out to Vegas, man. Come out here. We got some fun out here. You know what I'm saying? Come out here to Vegas. You know, just give the East Coast a break for a little bit. Come out here and see what you can do.
That's actually in the forefront of my healing right now. I feel like that's what God's pulling me to do right now, is to get away from Atlanta for a minute. So trust and believe. I'm like 90% out the door already on my way.
There you go. Get that 10% in there. And also, BJ want to let you know that he wants to be a co-host when y'all bring back the DTTO show. He wants to be a co-host. So
and Saga, we love you too.
I also forgot, I don't know why it just made me think that, but ATL's Hottest voting has started before I did not fail to mention that I've been nominated for Hottest Actress, Hottest Author, and Saga and I have been nominated ATL's Hottest Power Couple. So y'all can vote to vote. Yes. So
awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yeah, I think ATL trying to keep me a little bit longer. We're going to see what happens. It's going to depend on y'all's votes.
Hey, well, look, trust me. Y'all got this in the bag. Y'all got this in the bag because everything that you do turns to gold. You know what I'm saying? So, make it work, B. We love y'all, okay? So if you want to give any shout outs to anybody before we let this go?
Just shout out to my whole support system. I can't thank all of y'all enough, especially those who have kicked into high gear, even the ones who I haven't answered the phone for yet. I definitely still appreciate you trying to reach out. Even the nurses all back at the facility who bought my book. Yes, I sold books. And wow. Only me. Anyway, all of them, thank you. Thank just everybody who supports me.
this is the beginning. This is a new beginning. This is the new normal. And y'all going to be seeing a lot more of me. I'm not self-sabotaging anymore. I'm taking care of myself so that I can be the better version of me. So.
Awesome. Also, just want to give an update. Danielle Nixon, she just ordered a book for her daughter.
Thank you, everybody who's getting books. Yes, $10 for y'all only who's watching this. I ain't posting this nowhere else.
and Nita Smith said she's getting another one. So thank you, Nita, for supporting.
Yes,
so that's $3. Hey, there you go. There you go. All right, V, we love you. We hope to see you real soon.
Love you, baby.
Come out here on the West Coast, hang out with us.
I sure will. Love y'all. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're welcome. Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, that was the little sis Vitelle. My God, I mean, I just love talking to her because she uplifts people. You know, she just uplifts people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's bright, but she still uplifts people.
You stop talking about her.
Nah, you know that's look. You know what? V gets on me too. Y'all don't see the stuff that she do to me. She gets on me a lot. Especially the time we was at the house and they found this old camera of me. I mean, this old film camera, and she was like, "Oh, Bobby must have got it when he was a kid." The camera was like 100 years old.
Yeah.
So she gets on me too. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes. But anyway, guys, you know, go out there and support her. BJ, we love you. V, yes, B, we definitely love Vitelle and Saga. We love them wholeheartedly. So when we had the opportunity to get on the show, we jumped on it real quick.
Absolutely.
So guys, thank you guys for watching this show. And anybody there who actually going through any kind of depression in their lifetime, you know, talk to somebody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't reach out to Vitelle or myself or, you know, your own support system, talk to somebody who that will listen, because, you know, when you get it off your chest, it's a lot easier for you to breathe, because when you hold it on down and just holding it right here, it crushes you. It crushes you a lot. So try to talk to somebody. I don't care if you got to talk to the neighbor's dog. Talk to somebody. Just verbal it out. Just get it out. Once it's projected out into the system, it definitely it lives sooner.
Yeah.
Rather than later.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I don't really know how to go into how that would work, but
you were right, baby. You were right. Talking it out, even if the person on the other end don't quite understand, you know, what you're going through at that point in time. Just talk. And I tell him, I may come back with rebuttals, but I'd be like, okay. He'd be like, when I'm trying to talk, well, talk, say it. I hear you, you know, but at the same time, while he's going through that, I have to strengthen myself also, so I can make sure that I do not fall into that with him, because it is very easy, especially being an empath. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you all subscribe, share, hit the notification bell on YouTube, like it, do whatever you need to do, you know, and let's spread the word.
That's right. Okay? And we watched this video. I mean, for those out there, you know, somebody who might be going through depression, let them watch this video, because I think some of the words and some of the nuggets that Vitelle has given is going to brighten them up and give them something that they need to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we're going to end this video how we do all of our videos with a 1, 2, 3, and peace.
Hi, I'm Emmy-nominated Melvin Jackson Jr., actor and producer. You're watching TPN Live with Bobby and Renee. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Nitra. I'm an extras casting director and a DDP yoga instructor, and I'm watching TPN Live with Bobby and Renee Peoples. And you should too.